Today I'm going to talk about making the basic shapes three-dimensional. So, quick review. Basic shapes are square, rectangle, triangle, circle, half circle, crescent moon. So I've set up a still life here of the basic shapes in their three dimension: a cone, rectangle, square, pyramid, and a sphere. So when you begin your drawing, we're going to start in the middle and work out. Much easier than doing the ends and then trying to squeeze the middle. So our middle object is the cone. What is the basic shape of a cone? The cone is narrow at the top and gets wider as it comes down, so that would be a triangle. So I hold my charcoal up and I look at the angle, carefully bring it down here, and I feel it with my charcoal. It comes down like this. Then the other angle comes down this way. When I feel that it's long enough, instead of making it straight across, I'm going to give it a bit of a rounded curve so that the viewer understands that it's round immediately. So when I round this off, automatically looks round. Now, working from the center out, the rectangle comes next. First thing I notice is it doesn't come straight to the side and straight to the side, and then this side is here, and then there's a top. That's not how it really looks to me. What I notice is it's coming from behind. When I hold my charcoal up, it seems like it's coming from back to front at an angle. It's coming at an angle towards us. When I pull it out into a rectangle shape, then this edge is straight up and down. Now it's going to go away from us, so it goes a bit uphill, goes a bit uphill, and the edge is straight up and down. So to get a flat top, the front edges, the front angles, same as the back, and the front sides run parallel to the back side. Working from the middle out, I come to the pyramid. First thing I notice is that its closest corner is right here, so I make a little dot. The negative space is the space between the objects. So this makes kind of a check mark, and then it makes kind of a V. So I notice this goes a little higher, then it comes down. And you can think of the pyramid as two triangles put together. You can think of it as a diamond shape with a line in the middle. There's more than one way to think about it. So back to the beginning. The square, the cube, is in front of the cone. So I make this first line go in front. I make sure to pull it further than the bottom so that the viewer understands what is in front and what is in back. You have to spell it out a little bit. Now again, I notice that the square doesn't just come to the side, but the bottom has a bit of an angle. It goes this way. These are parallel. And then the side is straight up and down. Then it goes away from us, so it goes a bit uphill and a bit uphill, and the side is straight up and down. So the front sides and the back sides are parallel. The front sides and the back sides are parallel to get a nice flat top. Okay, that's easy. The sphere. So the sphere, when I hold my charcoal up, is about this tall, and the bottom is approximately here, and the space from here to here is approximately here. So now I know that my circle needs to fit somewhere in between these guidelines. When I first make it, I keep my lines very light until I'm sure I'm in the right spot, and then I can strengthen my lines. So now we have our basic layout. Now let's enhance our drawing with values, darks, and lights. So the light is coming from the right side, and these objects that have planes, the pyramid, the rectangle, and the square, it's easy to see light, shadow, light, shadow, light, shadow. Makes a pattern. So when I start filling in light, shadow first, I fill it in partially. So it's a bit darker than the paper. And I blend my lines together so I get a nice flat plane. I push all my guidelines to the inside so they become part of the plane. Now we carefully put in our lines, but now we're going to hide them. So I start filling this in partially. Don't want to go too dark, but I need to go a bit darker than the paper. Now carefully blend all these lines together. Get a nice smooth plane. When you're blending, sometimes you have to go left and right, up and down, back and forth, in circles. Try and hide those lines, make them part of the shadow. Get it nice and smooth. Alright, the same thing with the cube. Bit, and I'm going to take my blender, smooth this out. I'm going to make my shadows all the same value for each object so that the viewer understands the same light is hitting all the objects. Now these objects are not perfect, but as an artist you can use your artistic license and make them better than how they seem. Alright, so now on the round objects, the shadow is a bit harder to find. To find it, you squint your eyes, look through your eyelashes, and you begin to see this crescent moon shape show up. Fill this in with a medium shade. Push all the lines to the inside. Because this is round, I'm going to keep this edge a little soft and out of focus. Now on the cone, you can see that, clearly you can see the shadow in the light where it spins quickly. But as it fans out, the shadow begins to be a little lost. So what you need to do in a situation like this is look closely at the cube and then at the cone, at the cube and the cone, and kind of squint your eyes and compare them. Which is lighter, which is darker. When I look at it, it seems to me that the cone is slightly darker. So I'm going to make my shadow come here in front of the square. Because this cube looks a bit lighter to me. Carefully fill it in and use my blender to smooth all these lines together so I get nice shadow. Then I'm going to soften this edge just a little bit because a round object always has a soft edge. Okay, so we have 2 soft edges and 3 objects that have planes and definite edges. To show the effect of the light, take my chamois eraser. I'm going to erase the charcoal that's on the paper.